Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Facts. Today, we're going to go over the indictment uh, for the murder of Jason Mizell, aka Jam Master Jay. So let's get right into it. Jason Mizell, aka Jam Master Jay, was born January 21st of 1965, and he died October 30th, 2002. He was from Queens, New York, and he was part of the musical group Run DMC, and that genre of music is hip hop. So that's just a little bit about Jason Mizell. All right, let's jump right into the indictment. Okay, so this was released just a few days ago on August 13th, 2020. So it's the United States of America against Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D, and Noyd, and Ronald Washington, also known as Tenard, and they're the defendants. All right, so let's get right into it. The grand jury charges, this is count one. There are 7 counts in this case. So the first count is murder of Jason Mizell while engaged in narcotics trafficking. Okay, that's pretty huge. If they don't go down for one, they'll go down for the other. So that's oftentimes what they do, is combine charges. So if they're confident that they've committed it, but they're not sure they're going to get a conviction, they'll have a few counts. So let's get into it. On or about October 30th, 2002, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendants Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D and Noyd, and Ronald Washington, also known as Tenard, together with others, while engaged in an offense punishable under Section 841B1A of Title 21 United States Code, to wit, a conspiracy to contribute 5 kilograms or more of a mixture or substance containing cocaine, a Schedule II controlled substance, did knowingly and intentionally kill and counsel, command, induce, and cause the intentional killing of an individual, to wit, Jason Mizell, also known as Jam Master Jay, and such killing did result. In Title 21 United States Code Section 848E 1A, Title 18 United States Code Section 2 and 3551. So those are just, the long and short of it is murder and cocaine distribution. And you'll see a lot where people use, especially in the African American community, Little D and Noyd, and their nicknames. So it makes it more difficult. Oftentimes they're involved in nefarious activities, not always, but oftentimes, and they just have these nicknames back and forth, and this is what they put in their cell phone. So you never really know. The streets know who Little D is, but they aren't. When it comes time to do a investigation, people might say, well, Little D did it, but they're not going to say Ronald Washington, and they're likely not going to say Tenard or Little D. So it's a way of doing dirt, so to speak, under an alias. That's just one example. Okay, let's move on to count 2, and that's firearm-related murder of Jason Mizell. So now we've got another one. It's a firearm, so they're loading up the charges and counts to get them on something. On or about October 30th, 2002, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendants Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D and Noyd, and Ronald Washington, also known as Tenard, together with others, in the course of a violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 924C, to wit, the knowing and intentional use of one or more firearms during and in relation to a drug trafficking crime, to wit, a conspiracy to distribute 5 kilograms or more of a mixture of substance containing cocaine, a Schedule II controlled substance, in violation of Title 21 United States Code Section 841B1A I2. Did knowingly and intentionally, I say 2 because I'm assuming those are Roman numerals, otherwise it's II. Okay, did knowingly and intentionally cause the death of a person through the use of one or more firearms, which killing was murder as defined in Title 18 United States Code Section 1111. in that defendants, together with others, with malice, all forethought, did unlawfully kill Jason Mizell, also known as Jam Master Jay. So they did it with malice and forethought. So, you know, their intent was to do this, to commit this crime. All right, now on to count, did I cover this? Title 18, United States Code sections 924J, 1, 2, and 3551. Okay. Count 3, conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute cocaine. All right, so this is conspiring to distribute in the possession of cocaine. Okay, in or about and between March 2017 and June 2017, both dates being approximate and inclusive, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D, a lot of repetition, but I get it, and Noy, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally conspire to distribute and possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance, which offense involved a substance containing cocaine, a Schedule II controlled substance, contrary to Title 21 United States Code Section 841A1. Title 21 United States Code Sections 846 and 841B1C, Title 18 United States Code Sections 3551. Whew, that's a mouthful. Just to say that their third count is conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute cocaine. Okay? All right, let's move on to count 4. Now it's distribution of cocaine. So this is count 4, and they're really loading on the counts here to get them. On or about April 19, 2017, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D and Noy, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally distribute and possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance, which offense involved a substance containing cocaine, a Schedule II controlled substance. Okay, Title 21 United States Code 841A and 841B 1C, Title 18 United States Code Sections 2 and 3551. All right, next is count 5, and this is also distribution of cocaine. So on or about April 24th, 2017, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D, and Noy, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally distribute and possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance with offense involved a substance containing cocaine, a Schedule II controlled substance. And that's Title 21 United States Code Section 841A1 and 841B1C, Title 18 United States Code Sections 2 and 3551. All right, count 6, on or about May 2nd, 2017, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D, and Noy, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally distribute and possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance, which offense involved a substance containing cocaine, okay, a Schedule II controlled substance. Title 21, United States Code, Section 841A1 and 841B1C, Title 18, United States Code, Sections 2 and 3551. All right, count 7, distribution of cocaine. Oh, there's 7. I misspoke. There's 7 counts. Okay, on or about May 9th, 2017, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D, and Noy, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally distribute and possess and with intent to distribute a controlled substance, which offense involved a substance containing cocaine, a Schedule controlled substance. Title 21 United States Code Sections 841A1 and 841B1C, Title 18 United States Code Sections 2 and 3551. Count 8, distribution of cocaine. On or about May 18th, 2017, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D and Noit, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally distribute and possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance, which offense involved a substance containing cocaine, a Schedule II controlled substance. All right, so all of these 9 and 10 are all also controlled substances, but we're going to keep going because the dates are changing. So Title 21 United States Code, Section 841 and 841B 1C, and Title 18 United States Code, Sections 2 and 3551. All right, count 9 is distribution of cocaine on or about May 24th, 2017, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere. The defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D and Noy, together with others, did knowingly, intentionally distribute and possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance. Okay, and then count 9, distribution of cocaine on or about June 9, 2017, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere. The defendant Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D, and Noyd, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally distribute and possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance, which offense involved a substance containing cocaine. And we know the titles, United States Code, Sections 841A and 841B 1C, Title 18 United States Code, Sections 2 and 351. All right, the foreperson's name has been redacted, as well as the acting United States Attorney, Eastern District of New York, has also been redacted. Now, understanding redactions, they do not want us to know who the acting United States Attorney in this case is, or the foreperson. For whatever reason, they have their reasons, but they are choosing to not disclose that. Okay, so there are 9 counts. And as you notice, Carl Jordan Jr., Little D, and Noyd, his alias, he's the one that is in possession along with others. But at the beginning, we had, well, let's go to the top here, the first count. At the start, we had Carl Jordan Jr. and Ronald Washington in count 1, which is the murder of Jason Mizell while engaged in narcotics trafficking. So Ronald Washington's name is only mentioned in count 1. He's not mentioned, he's mentioned in count 2 of the firearm, but that's associated with the murder, okay? And then in count 3, let's see, is he mentioned there? No, but that goes on to talk about the cocaine. So if we're looking at this correctly, Carl Jordan, aka Little D and Noyd, and Ronald Washington, also known as Tenard, they were involved in the killing of Jason Mizell, okay? And so they're both included in the count 1 and the count 2 because that involves the murder. The murder is count 1 and the firearm related. So they're charging them with possession of a firearm. Okay. The use of a firearm and they're in relation to a drug trafficking crime. All right, so that's it. Very interesting. So let's see, what kind of facts do we know? So facts from the Mizell case. On or about October 30th, 2002, within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, defendants Carl Jordan Jr., also known as Little D, and Noyd and Ronald Washington, also known as Tenard, together with others, conspired to distribute cocaine, and did knowingly cause the intentional killing of Jason Mizell. And we know there were several counts. The first count is murder of Jason Mizell while engaged in narcotics trafficking. And then there's firearms related. That's count 2 to the murder. Count 3 is conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute cocaine. And then we had distribution of cocaine for the other counts. All right, so that's it. Again, this is Jason Mizell, and he was part of the group Run DMC, and he was There was a very popular hip hop group back in the day. This was a cold case, and so for some reason, someone has decided to speak up. And that's good, because oftentimes in cases like this, they either never speak up or it's many more years. So let's see what happens. The Daily Facts will follow this case. All right. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please leave a comment. If you like it, hit that like button, subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more of these things. All right. Take good care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.